guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube. I mean, I'm so not YouTube. I'm YouTube famous now. If you say it, it's the truth. I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2020. The album, the country version. Dad AF. Baby, you're a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and rock on gold dust. I went to a party last Saturday night. I didn't get laid. I got in a fight. Okay, let's get in this video. How are you guys doing today? Happy Tuesday. I was gonna do 2 videos today, but I think I'm only gonna do 1 because I've been driving around listening to music and drinking my coffee. So let's get into this video. Today's video is sponsored by the shenanigans of Jake Paul. Thank you, Jake Paul, for sponsoring. No, he didn't sponsor this video, but I wish he did. He has more money than God, and apparently will be making more money with his new Scamalicious scam, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But first, I want to say I haven't made a Jake Paul video. It's been a really, really long time. I mean, I think the last time I made a Jake Paul video was when he was still married to Tana Mojo. Right. So anyway, let's talk about what Jake Paul has been up to, other than the fact that apparently he is spiraling out of control because his brother Logan was seen supposedly romantically with Tana Mojo. I don't know, allegedly. Haven't we done this before? Are the Paul brothers running out of fakeries and schemeries that they have to repeat? Didn't we do this Logan Paul thing with Alyssa Violet? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Tana Mojo has supposedly, allegedly, been spotted linked up with Logan Paul, okay? The brother of her supposed ex-husband, although they were never legitimately married to begin with. So I'm so confused about all this. It's literally like the worst episode of Jerry Springer that ever was. By the way, did you know that Jerry Springer is now on Judge Jerry? How did he become a judge? Anyway, I have no clue, but I'm going to start watching that show because that's the kind of fantastic trash that I love to watch. So anyway, that happened, and then, let's just talk about this for a second. Jake Paul started, like, losing it on Twitter, but he completely backs it up and thinks that what he did was completely fine, even though he deleted his tweet. So Jake Paul put this tweet out. Here, I'll put it up here for you right here. He put this tweet up yesterday, and it says, remember, anxiety is created by you. Sometimes you gotta let life play out and remind yourself to be happy and that the answers will come. Chill your mind out. Go for a walk. Talk to a friend. So apparently Jake Paul, PhD, has all of the answers to how to deal with anxiety. Well, this tweet was met with not necessarily the kindest response in the entire world. People were very, very upset about this, which is interesting that he stands behind it, which I'm going to talk about here in just a second, that he stands behind this tweet, but then he went to go delete the tweet, which... Thank God that I went in and screenshot a ton of the responses to this. So let's go and we'll hear a couple of the responses to this. So anyway... Jake Paul, again, he said, remember, anxiety is created by you. Sometimes you gotta let life play out and remind yourself to be happy and that the answers will come. Chill your mind out, go for a walk, talk to a friend. So here are some of the responses that he got. Somebody said, this is from Andrew Lowe, was gonna quote this with a funny dig at you because the retweets would be fun, but probably would be better just to directly let you know how bad this is. It's really bad and wrong and horribly dangerous, and you should delete this immediately before some 7-year-old believes it. And then a bunch of other people said stuff. And then somebody else responded and said, I just screamed, be happy in the mirror 12 times. Hasn't worked yet, but I'm going for 13. Thanks for the tip. And then somebody else responded, everybody underneath here is like verified that's coming for him. And I don't even know who half these people are. So they're probably all part of some squad or cube or house or trailer. I don't know. Like, you know how the kids, they all live together in those little units. This person responds and says, just smiled as hard as I can and all my teeth fell out. Jake, please advise. And then somebody said, remember, depression is all in your head. Just be happy, go outside, drink water. So everybody's coming back at him with these really ridiculous, sarcastic statements because how ridiculous is it that Jake Paul, okay, who is now leading the masses of the younger generation, is basically coming out and saying, you are the cause of all of your anxiety. And so somebody else said, somebody else put this little emoji out, and this person responded and said, thanks for letting me know that depression is all in my head, and just to be happy, clown post. And then somebody in here said, just remember, asthma is all created by you. Go outside, just breathe. And somebody responded and said, oh, thank you for this. I have asthma and currently ill with a virus, so I was feeling sorry for myself. But this is a great reminder that I created all of this, all those mistakes I made in vitro, and can get rid of it in my own thoughts. And somebody else responded to this and said, do what you love. Just remember that asthma is all in your head. And so what they're going in and they're basically saying is that all of these issues that we do not have any control over, okay, that Jake Paul has just said, you can just think it away. You can just think it away. And it's very dangerous. This is really, really problematic because this is the message that he is giving out to his people. Somebody else said, Jake, you clearly know nothing about mental illness and are beyond uneducated. Giving advice like this to your young audience is just plain dangerous. Somebody else says, yeah, dude, you're right. Just stop being anxious. Just chill. You're so right. And then somebody else says, I'm sorry, but I didn't create my mental illness. I've struggled with diagnosed OCD, anxiety, body dysphoria, and depression since the age of 10. Life has been playing out, but I will always have a mental illness that has welcomed a lot of inner demons and bad days. Somebody else responded and said, this is actually really harmful. Anxiety can be incredibly physical as well as mental. Mental illness is not the fault of a sufferer. Please delete this. You are doing actual harm to your followers who very well may need to be seeking professional help for their problems. But Jake doesn't really believe in professionals, and we're going to talk about that in a second, that he knows more than professionals do. Somebody else said, you're a dumb ASS, oh my God, swear jar. Somebody else said, this is so irresponsible. Somebody responded to them and said, you tell them. Somebody else said, words by someone who doesn't understand how crippling anxiety can be. Somebody responded to that and said, louder for the people in the back. And then it just goes on and on and on. This is the worst take. I cannot believe a walk in the park could cure my legitimate chemical imbalance. Thank you so much, Jake. And I mean, it just is one thing after another. Here's an example of someone who's never experienced real anxiety. Then somebody says, for real though, at one point my anxiety was so effing bad, I couldn't walk outside without my legs shaking due to extreme anxiety. And somebody responded and said, just think about Jake Paul, that'll make you feel better. Somebody else said, and then they say it was just a joke, that what he was saying was just a joke. No, I don't. When his follow-up, what he says is not just a joke. Somebody else said, remember when you have anxiety, just remember you have multiple millions of dollars and your life is really just a meaningless free-for-all with no consequences where you can basically do anything you want. Don't forget, contributing to society is entirely optional. So all of these people were really, really negative in the thread of the tweet, which Jake Paul has since deleted. But what's interesting about this is if you go to Jake Paul's Twitter, he has followed it up with this tweet right here. And he said, everyone clowning my tweet, the tweet that he deleted, okay? So if you truly, truly believe what you said, wouldn't you leave it up because you stand behind it? He said, everyone clowning my tweet, but it's now spreading more awareness about anxiety, which I didn't even know was a thing till I was 18, but had it my whole life and never knew how to deal with it. If you think you have it or want to deal with it, try reading this. And then he linked this article from healthline.com, which is how to cope with anxiety, 11 simple ways to see a doctor. And then he goes, if you go underneath here, the comments are just as bad. Somebody said, just admit that the tweet was ridiculous and move on. Somebody else said, being anxious and having anxiety are not the same. Drinking water and going for a walk are things for people who are stressed or nervous, not people who have to live with anxiety disorder. Somebody else went in here. I mean, it's just, you guys, it is, the comments underneath here are just absolutely ridiculous, okay? The fact that Jake Paul did such an irresponsible thing with coming out and making a statement like this when his entire following are people that are younger is just absolutely baffling to me. And I'm gonna have more to say about this, but I first need to put on my lip balm because my lips are getting, I never hit that damn picture. My lips are getting chapped from all of this talking I have to do. Now, what's interesting about this, okay, is if you go underneath here to his thread, Jake Paul made a tweet 3 days ago, and he said, our education system is worthless. I'm fed up. If I die, I want to die having made a real difference in this world. Which is interesting to me when I think about this platform that he has, this huge platform that he has. And here is an example of something irresponsible that he's doing with his Twitter. He wants to make a real difference in the world, other than showing crazy pranks and, you know, making tons and tons of money off of what he does. And I'm not really sure what that looks like to him as a real difference. The boxing matches are fun. Everything he's doing is fun. It's all fun and games, right? But like, what real difference are you making in the world? And this goes above and beyond how much money he's donating to certain organizations and things like that. He could really be using his platform to educate younger people on certain things. But he goes in here to basically just tear apart the education system. He goes in and he puts up this, I'm just going to read it to you. I'm not going to put it on the video, but he goes in here and he types up this thing that looks like a 2019 beauty influencer apology, quite frankly. And it says, if you're confused at what the event is tomorrow because he is leading up to this event that he's going to be that he's planning. Basically, I'm sick of our education system and how it's teaching kids zero real life skills for them to secure their own future. I'm creating a movement for everyone who wants to take life into their own hands and learn real life skills from actual professionals. Why are kids sitting in film class learning from a teacher who has never even made a film? And that's just one example. I was the kid in class who was the smartest but wouldn't apply myself because I thought it was so stupid to be sitting there. But it's all we are taught. I'm just not letting it go on anymore without doing something about it. You know, which is interesting to me because when you think about all of the professions that require education, for example, physicians, surgeons, attorneys, all people that Jake Paul has at one time or another utilized, right? Can you imagine Jake Paul going into an emergency room and a doctor, which they would never do this because this is against, you know, their code of ethics, but can you imagine going into an emergency room and a doctor coming out and seeing Jake Paul and saying, I didn't learn anything in school, Jake, so I can't help you, okay? You know, like, I just want to be famous like you, so I probably shouldn't help you in the emergency room. You know, like, how can you make such a generalized statement like that? Do I think that a lot of what I have learned in school is probably not applicable, like how, you know, in geometry, to build, you know, a deck? Sure. Do I think a lot of the things that I learned when I was in junior high and high school were not helpful to my daily life? Absolutely. Did I learn things like social skills, how to get along with other people? Did I learn, because you have to think about this. Jake Paul is like 1 in a billion, 1 in 100 billion. The fact that his life is going to be like other people is just astronomical, like the chances, the probability of that, right? Did I learn about how to follow rules? Did I learn about, you know, that there are some rules that I have to follow? Because the majority of the people that he's talking to are people that are going to have to go get jobs and follow rules, that are going to have to pay their bills, that are not going to be able to hire a staff of 20 people to do it for him. The people that I'm sure he hires, accountants and attorneys, these people that did go to school and did get the education needed to provide him the life that he has, okay? The financial advisors, the bankers, the people that he doesn't know how to do any of that kind of stuff. I'm sure that Jake Paul doesn't sit down and balance his own checkbook out. I just really find that hard to believe. So Jake Paul, underneath here, it's interesting, the comments, again, are people coming for him. People are saying all these things. Okay, but Jake complaining about the education system while making multiple grammatical errors is definitely not what the world needed. And somebody said in here, you should create some sort of masterclass or YouTube thing to teach people real life skills. For those people like me who want to put the effort in and actually go somewhere in life, I feel you, bro. Okay, which is interesting to me. So then when you go up here, the thing that he shows the next day is this tweet he put out and says, if you want to start learning real life skills that the education system doesn't teach you, I'm creating a movement. And then Forbes magazine, this financialfreedommovement.com, said, why are you sitting in school learning the quadratic formula and not learning how to actually make money? So when you go to this, what it is, this kills me, right? This is like that Ty Lopez, that 7-minute ad that everybody gets on their YouTube that's about like he rents out cars in this amazing house in Las Vegas and acts like you too can have $1 million, okay? This is called one of those money-making schemes, right? And when you go to it, well, hold on a second, I have it screenshot because I knew that it was going to take forever to load. When you go to it, oh shoot, hold on a second, where is it? It is this thing and it says, Jake Paul, the financial freedom movement. And here I will put it up right here. And it says how to live your life on your terms, achieve your dream goals, and have financial freedom. And then you can play the video, and it says join now. And when you hit join now, it takes you to this website where you can pay $19.99 for monthly access to this financial freedom movement with Jake Paul. It's regularly $39.99. Now, what's interesting to me is that this is 50% off, but it just started, okay? So why is it 50% off if it just started? No, it was never $39.99. It was always $19.99. That's a scheme, okay, that a lot of these like kind of money-making businesses do, allegedly. And then it goes underneath here and it says, yearly access to financial freedom movement with Jake Paul, regularly $480. Now, 70% off, you can get that for the low price of $149. Well, when you look at who Jake Paul's audience is, and the fact that Jake Paul's audience is typically under the age of 18, okay? Who is going to be paying this $19.99 and $149? Are these kids that are putting money in Jake Paul's pockets? Are they going to be the ones that are taking their parents' credit cards so that they don't have to go to college and they can put this money and learn financial freedom? I have to be honest with you. I'm really considering doing at least 1 month of this for $19.99 and really seeing what it is that Jake Paul is teaching. Like, I would really like to know that. Jake Paul is a phenomenon, you know? I mean, he's a phenomenon on YouTube that he got famous because of these videos that he was doing. I think it's a really, really irresponsible message to teach people, your audience out there, that this can happen to anybody. You know, I encourage people all the time to start YouTube channels if they want to. But one of the things I always say to them is, don't think that you're gonna post your first video and it's just gonna blow up. Jake Paul, Tana Mojo, Emma Chamberlain, you know, Antonio Garza, a lot of these younger people, the Dolan twins, a lot of these younger people are a phenomenon on YouTube. When you look at people like Jeffree Star and Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson, these are people that took years and years and years to grow their platform. I mean, they're 10 years in, okay? It didn't just blow up overnight. When you look at somebody like Emma Chamberlain, like I did a video about her and her, there's like a hair hanging off my hat. When you look at Emma Chamberlain and you see, because she did have this coffee fiasco, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a video about Emma Chamberlain and her and her Chamberlain coffee, and people weren't getting their coffee products, okay? When I was reading her Wikipedia page, what was interesting to me was that like in 1 month, she gained like 200,000 subscribers. Growth like that is unbelievable. Like, it's to go in 1 month and gain like 1 million subscribers, like that very rarely happens to YouTubers out there. This is a select few people that it happens to. And the further that we get and the more people that are getting on YouTube, the less it's going to happen to people, right? So I don't know what he's going to be teaching on this, you know, how you can start your own online business and things like that. But like I always tell people, like if you want to start your channel, start your channel. But you want to know a realistic way that it actually happens, go watch Haters Back Off with Colleen Ballinger, the Miranda Sings thing on Netflix. And she posts this video on Netflix or on YouTube. It's hilarious, right? Her first video that she posts, and she sits there and she posts it, and she's like waiting for it to like start scrolling in numbers, and it's like 24 hours later and she hasn't like had any views, right? And she goes crazy. That is the reality of YouTube, okay? That's what YouTube is really like when you start a channel and you post it, and it's like you're waiting for people to watch it. Well, people don't know how to find you. How would anybody know how to find you, you know? So these phenomenons on YouTube, I mean, it's crazy to me that Jake Paul is the one that he's going to be educating about this. No, to me, personally, my opinion is that this is just another way for Jake Paul to make money. I feel like everything that Jake Paul does is just to make money. From the fake marriages, to the pranks, to the house, to the gang, to taking a percentage of what all those people that work for him, to all of this, it's just all about money, 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 money. I even think, okay, that him putting out this anxiety tweet, there's something else that's going to come out about this, okay? He will say something about dealing with anxiety, and this is what I've learned, and this is my personal story, and he'll do some video or something like this. It's all just driven by money, this whole need to have money. And it's really, really sad to me, you know? When I was growing up, one of the things that my dad taught me, it's one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned in my life, was my dad used to say to me, do what you love and the money will follow. But if the money doesn't follow, at least you are doing something that you love, right? And I think it's important, and he would have followed that up by also saying to me, you know, like, I don't care what it is that you do, but I want you to contribute positively to the world. In some way, on a daily basis, are you contributing to the world in a positive way? I think that Jake Paul does contribute positively to the world. I think that he allows people to, you know, find enjoyment in his videos. I think younger people like his videos. videos. I think by and large, a lot of the things he does, I would say, you know, like off camera are not like the pranks and stuff. I think people know that those are pranks. When I've talked to like, you know, the kids of my friends, they'll say, oh, I follow Jake Paul and he's so funny and whatever. I think they know it's pranks. They know it's not real. They don't, and I'm not talking about 12-year-olds. I'm talking about like 17-year-olds, right? That they get that it's a prank. They don't think that it's super, super real. So for an entertainment value, yes, I think that he's doing something positively to the world. But to come out and dog to your, okay, you've now done 2 problematic things in a week. Number 1, okay, you have led your much younger audience to believe that the education system has no value whatsoever. When I have so many teachers that reach out to me and they say, when I ask my students what they want to be, they say YouTubers. So that means these high school classes are looking up to these students, okay? And on the heels of when we have something like the whole Lori Loughlin case, where she's buying her daughter's admission into certain colleges, and then you have Jake Paul over here saying, don't worry about college, the education system is pointless anyway, all you need to do is this to live on your own terms, whatever, and then you have all this going on and you see all this and you're this kid in high school and you think, I'm going to become TikTok famous or I'm going to become YouTuber famous or whatever. It happens to very few people, okay? And then on top of that, you have somebody that's watching every move that he makes, and Jake Paul's coming out and he's saying, anxiety is all in your head, okay? You don't worry about it. And then you got this 16, 17-year-old kid that's looking up to this person and saying, I'm not doing very well in school anyway, and Jake Paul's telling me that I don't have to go to school, and I'm not gonna like follow the advice of my, counselors or psychiatrists or doctors anymore because Jake Paul said it's all in my head and I self-created it anyway. You have a real mess on your hands there, right? Like, who's gonna take responsibility for that? It's a very scary situation. And I've said this about Tana Mongeau in the past, that I wish that she would take her platform and be more of a role model. And people always say to me, she doesn't owe that to anybody. No, none of them owe that to anybody, right? But, we have a lot of people in the world that are doing really great things and are using their platforms for good. I don't understand when you wake up on a daily basis why you can't say to yourself, what one small good thing can I possibly do to be of value to the world and to do something positive? Like, it doesn't take a whole lot. Jake Paul is literally one of the largest YouTubers out there, okay? He has his finger on the pulse of the younger generation. Just think about that for a second. Think about all the amazing good that he could do with that. And this is what he chooses to put out in the world. It baffles me. And when I was Jake Paul's age too, maybe I wouldn't have cared. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered to me. I don't know, but I'm older now and I see the world in a different way, and I've only got a few days left on this planet as the old man of YouTube. And I think to myself, if today I had that opportunity, if today I had that kind of pull, what I would do with it is to have that kind of power, okay, that you can do so much good for the younger generation. Why would you not do that? Why would you not take that opportunity? You don't have to do that all the time, okay? You can still be funny and do the pranks and all this kind of stuff, but it's baffling to me. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.